This is why I try to tell people the second harvest haven't left the earth yet. We're scheduled this year, 2017. And every time I tell somebody that, they go, but it's 2018. That's because you're on Satan's calendar. December means 10. How does a year end on the 10th month? Unless somebody changed it, right? So now we're on Tevet, which is a 10th month in the Jewish, but they have 11th and a 12th month, which is Adar. They're on a calendar. Okay, so we're in 2017, in March 16/17, evening to evening, we will be on the last day of 2017. And what God has scheduled for 2017 is what? A rapture, a taking away, and the beginning of a flood in the 17. Yes. And so he's telling us, be prepared. This is why the Lord said to me today, look, he said, look, watch this. In Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 5, it talks about the return of the nation of Israel back to the land. It is the 5,708th verse of the Torah, which is the year in Israel for 1948. Okay? And it talks about the return of the nation of Israel. So God set 1948 as the day that he was going to bring them back. This is 3,000 years before it happens. And it happens, okay? Then, in the same one, he says, oh, something's going to happen in 1967 too. So in the 5,727th verse of the Torah, it talks about, in Deuteronomy 31, God winning a war and giving land back to Israel, taking it from their enemies and giving it back to Israel. That's crazy. And it happened this way. In 1967, they fought a 6-day war and they took land. And God gave it, the land and Jerusalem, back to Israel in 1967. That means God planned that day. Now look, in 1 Kings chapter 25, verse 8, God says after 1948 happens, it says 19 years later, 1967 is going to happen. 19 years apart it happened. So God set the year in 1 Kings chapter 25, verse 8. So 1967 was a date that God set. Okay? 2017, let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 32. Because this is what he says is going to happen in the year 5777, which is 2017, which cannot end in a 10th month. Okay, you're in Deuteronomy chapter 32. Verse 24 is for 2017. Verse 25 is for 2018. You ready? This is what the God is saying is going to happen. I will send waste and famine against them, consuming pestilence and deadly plagues. I will send against them the fangs of wild beasts and the venom of vipers that glide in the dust. In the street, sword will make them childless. In their home, terror will reign. Young men, young women will perish. Infants and gray-haired men. When? In 5777, 2017, God has prophesied. This is a prophetic year, okay? And this is what the Lord impressed on my heart today. If nothing happens, it'll be a huge miracle. Why? Because never in the history of the Bible has God set a year and nothing happened. This would be the first time. You understand? And this is what the Lord wanted me to express to you today. Okay? Doesn't matter if Satan changed the calendar, if he used the Vatican to change the calendar. They didn't even have enough sense to change the word December to 12. You know what I mean? It's like you're a bad liar. You could at least change December and called it 12ism or something. But you're not even a good liar. So you left the name December, and November means what? 9, and October means 8. So they left the names as the numbers in Latin. So you know, hey, what's wrong with y'all? Well, why is the year ending on the 10th month? Oh, we created 2 other months to worship a couple of demons that we do here in the Vatican, right?